Hello everyone, how you going? Welcome to Canadian Things Americans Find Weird. Now both of these countries share a lot, they share the biggest border in the world, and so for an American to find something from Canada weird, I think that's pretty insane.
Canada, the world's second biggest country when measured by landmass, is a diverse environment with freshwater lakes, mountains, and other areas of outstanding natural beauty. They speak both French and English, and like all countries, have their own peculiar quirks when it comes to society and culture.
Absolutely.
From hilarious place names to curious cocktails, when it comes to weird and wacky, the Canadians have it all. A list of things that Canadians find pretty normal, but outsiders consider a little strange.
Here we go.
First up, let's look at linguistics. Although not totally unique to Canada, New Zealanders have a similar linguistic quirk. The use of the interjection "a" has puzzled outsiders for many years.
Yes.
Just what does "a" mean? Is it used as a statement, an exclamation, a command? Does it replace a question mark? Or is it a polite article? Well,
Yeah.
the Canadian "a" is a versatile non-word used to perform all of these grammar points and is a well-established part of the vocabulary.
Geez, well I guess that is kind of a scientific way to describe it in some ways, it's a non-word. Even the fact that you can even call something a non-word when it's clearly made of letters is just ridiculous, I think. But yes, the fact that it can just take up so many different parts of a sentence, it can mean different things entirely based on their context or kind of assume the context as well. And I guess that is only really something you can pick up by growing up in a country or being there long enough. And to take this one as an example, you are pretty good at hockey, eh? And it's like, okay, so if you actually kind of break it down, I guess you're just going, okay, that's kind of a yeah, and just doubling down on what you've just said in that regard, whereas it's not using it like a question mark or anything else that he said in that entire speech.
On to leadership. Does Canada have a queen? Yes, Elizabeth II. But isn't Canada an independent sovereign nation? Yes again. Well, that's kinda weird. Indeed, Canada broke away from British rule in 1867 and became
What am I looking at right here? I don't feel like I've ever seen a graph like that. It does Australia, or I can only assume Australia has a very similar thing. It probably looks virtually identical. So you have the Prime Minister of Canada advises the Governor General of Canada. Really? Wow, that's completely different to how I would have thought. I would have thought it would have been the other way around, or kind of two separate entities. And I've always just thought of the Governor General being advisor from what's happening internally in a country back to the monarchy. But I guess according to this one, that is completely wrong, and it is way more complicated than it really needs to be, I'm sure. And hey, there's just so many different things. Population of Canada, because you got Quebec in there as well. No wonder it's looking so crazy anyway.
Canada broke away from British rule in 1867 and became a totally sovereign nation in 1982. Their political setup was based around the Westminster British model, including the appointment of the Queen, and as time soldiered on, nobody got around to changing that appointment. So weirdly enough, Canada has itself a queen. With Trumpian shenanigans occurring beneath their border, it's little wonder Canadians live in hope that there is more intelligent life out there in space. Although no compelling evidence has been officially confirmed, the Canadians have built a landing pod for UFOs to park on if aliens feel the need to make their presence known.
Hang on a second, what? Have I not heard about this before? They've made a landing pod, like a X marks the spot, come and land here helipad for UFOs? I just had to look up some more about this because world's first UFO landing pad, St. Paul, Alberta, Canadian Centennial Project designed to gather information about UFOs. Okay, bit strange in that regard. Built as part of the Canadian Centennial celebration in 1967, St. Paul, Alberta has an official UFO landing welcome site. Weighing just over 130 tons, the large flat concrete structure contains a time capsule to be opened in a 100-year anniversary of the pad's opening in 2067. Well then, I guess I've just done multiple things there in terms of actually making a landing pad. I feel as though a starship or any kind of intergalactic vehicle is not going to fit in a pod that big. It's either going to need just absolutely no space at all because it's going to be so tiny to accelerate to stupid speeds, or it's going to be massive in terms of more like Star Wars style. But then even the fact that they put a time capsule in the entire thing as well, hopefully it's not in the concrete structure and you have to smash that up. That's a little bit wasteful, I think, overall. As mankind stands on the threshold of intergalactic travel, let us not forget our failures on Earth. If we are to become voyagers of space, we must listen to the true meaning of tolerance to others that are different from us. We must remember that no matter how large the universe, the smallest creature has its place in the order of life. If we fail to conquer disease and pestilence, I can't read what that word is, on Earth, but instead transmit them to other planets, we shall never be welcome. Yeah, that's pretty true. We know that for sure. If we fail to travel Earth without destroying the environment, how shall we ever travel the universe safely? Wow, that's very, very insightful. If we cannot develop international goodwill among all men, how shall we ever develop the intergalactic goodwill among all beings? Lastly, if mankind travels this earth or universe armed with kindness, tolerance, hope, and good spirits, he will always be welcomed. Damn, I mean, that's a hell of a paragraph, and I'd like to know who just wrote that entire thing. Because obviously down here it says Anon being anonymous, I can only assume, unless there's someone got Anon. But hey, I guess if nothing else, I've just added another thing to the list of things to check out when I hopefully, inevitably, eventually get to Canada.
The Canadians have built a landing pod for UFOs to park on if aliens feel the need to make their presence known. Weird and cool at the same time, this tourist attraction is totally out there, and again, proof that things are a little weird in Canada.
Yeah. And also, I'm just kind of going, well, even the fact that they would want to land there, like, why are they kind of searching the entire world just to find that one spot? I mean, unless they've somehow made it a universal kind of landing pad, I don't know how you do that, but really, that's how things like crop circles exist, because people just go, oh, out of the middle of nowhere, that's just where they ended up landing.
Then there are those winter sports. While most of the world stays indoors during a cold snap, perhaps toasting marshmallows over an open fire, or snuggling up under a blanket with a good book, Canadians like to venture out and celebrate Arctic conditions by playing sports. Ice hockey is played widely in Canada, however lacrosse is the national sport. There's nothing Canadians love more than getting out in the freezing cold and cheering on a bunch of guys freezing their nuts off on a winter's day. Then there
What? The national sport is lacrosse. Damn. I mean, I guess it's somewhat related in terms of sticks to hockey and whatnot, to ice hockey, but overall, maybe it's just because when the snow is a meter high, you just can't kind of push the puck along the ground anymore, and so you have to actually just catch it above your head. But I absolutely would have never have guessed that. If someone said, okay, it's a little bit of an out there sport, it's not hockey, it's not the NFL or CFL, it's just something a little bit different, I would go, I don't know, figure skating or something like that. Honestly, I just never ever knew that soccer was a big thing. I'd put that above lacrosse, and so yeah, lacrosse has just caught me off guard more than the UFOs.
Then there are those strange place names. Nestled in eastern Quebec, the town St. Louis du Haha must be a contender for one of the weirdest place names on the map. The name
Do ha ha, wow. I mean, the first part makes sense, but the do ha ha is like, wait, surely there's not exclamation marks in there. Have they added that in? Surely that's not part of the actual town name.
is supposed to represent the French word haha, meaning obstruction of view, but it'll always be haha funny to us outsiders, because we secretly think the Canadians are a bit strange.
Okay, he didn't say anything about the exclamation mark, so I can only assume that they're not actually part of the entire word or the town name. But really, even though it might be a little bit strange from an English perspective, going, why would you have ha ha in your name? That's just completely ridiculous. Ha ha, it's so funny. Yeah, whatever you want to call it. The fact is that it's still a French word, and so it makes sense in that regard, especially in Quebec. But anywhere in Canada, I can go, okay, that makes sense why you would be having French words just in your names. And so to be honest, I don't even feel like this one just takes the cake in any regard. I feel as though Australia, the UK have plenty more strange words, and especially just town names. You know, there's one in Ireland, I think it is, or Wales perhaps, I think it was Welsh, and the weatherman just absolutely nails the pronunciation. It's the end's like gog or something. It's about 50 letters, and honestly, I'm sure that Australia has a whole bundle of words that are quite strange to non-Australian people as well, from the fact that we have na goon, which is kind of the direct antithesis of this, you know, and then we have, I guess, all the Aboriginal words feeding into there as well, which other people generally don't seem to be able to pronounce. And so yeah, I don't exactly feel as though this one is the strangest one I've ever heard by a long shot.
But it'll always be haha funny to us outsiders, because we secretly think the Canadians are a bit strange. On to bathtub racing. Why not attach a kick-ass motor to the back of your bathtub and hit the waves for some serious racing? While most of us sip kick-ass motor to the back of your bathtub and hit the waves for some serious racing.
Oh, when he first said attach a motor, I was thinking just kind of tether a snowmobile or jet ski or something, not actually just attach a motor to a bar. That's great.
Why not attach a kick-ass motor to the back of your bathtub and hit the waves for some serious racing? While most of us sit back and relax with a long hot soak in the tub at the tail end of a long hard grind, the Canadians have devised a way of turning the humble bathtub into some kind of weird sport. The event takes place each year in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and is strangely growing in popularity.
Absolutely. Honestly, that just looks great. You basically just get a homemade jet ski, and what isn't going to be fun about that, especially when you just have to battle all the freezing cold water.
Takes place each year in Nanaimo, British Columbia, and is strangely growing in popularity. Admittedly, this does sound fun. And then there is the sour toe cocktail. This bizarre sundowner is served with a human toe bobbing around inside of it. The first toe donated to the drink belonged to miner and rum smuggler Louis Lycan, who had his toe amputated after suffering frostbite almost 100 years back. The toe was discovered in 1973 by Yukon local captain Dick Stevenson, who dreamt up the idea of the sour toe cocktail at the Sourdough Saloon.
I just had to listen to all of that just to even try to understand where possibly that would come from, and it still has not explained how anyone even thought that that was a good idea, or still thinks that that's a good idea. Give me the sour toe cocktail. Wow, I guess it's not safe to walk around in sandals. I mean, I guess, sure, around a bar, but where are they getting all of these toes from? Surely you just can't be going to the morgue and going, oh, yep, just like, I don't know, have a toe remover. That's ridiculous. Or actually, have I seen something about it before where they kind of recycle the toe? Like they put it in every drink as though it's a reusable ice cube or something. Oh god, it's so strange. How does anyone do that? Even just the fact that you know what you're ordering. It's not like someone's playing a joke and you're like, oh, here you go. Oh no, it's just a fake gelatin toe. And you go, okay. And then all of a sudden, you've literally got a human toe slamming you in the nose. That's so strange. I mean, I guess the alcohol is going to be a little bit of a preservative, but I just need to take it back to this guy because his toe was amputated due to frostbite and then he donated it? Why would you donate your own toe?
The first toe donated to the drink belonged to miner and rum smuggler Louis Lycan, who had his toe amputated after suffering frostbite almost 100 years back.
And even the fact that it's a frostbite toe, like it's not even just a normal toe. Surely a frostbite toe just looks even worse. I mean, honestly, maybe that's why people didn't even think it was a toe at first, because it was all shriveled up and pruned and purple or something. But even just the fact that he decided, or someone decided to even put that toe in a drink in the first place is just, I don't know what is going on in Canada. That is the weirdest thing so far by a long shot. I'll take the bathtub racing, that's just cool. UFO pad, yeah, fair enough. But putting a human toe, and still to this day putting a human toe in an alcoholic drink that people actually pay for, is just insane. So honestly, if someone said to me that once a year Canada holds an event, it's kind of a cash prize, whoever can actually drink it just wins, and that would be completely fine with me. But the fact that it's a real drink, and even the fact, how do you even store a human toe as a bartender? There's so many questions, and I just want to move on before I just get even more disgusted.
Now and again, the toe is swallowed by eager patrons, and another amputated toe is found to keep this weird tradition alive.
Yeah.
And while the rest of the world prefer their milk in a cardboard carton or a glass bottle, Canada is totally weird when it comes to packaging that most popular of dairy
so
products.
weird. So
Throughout
different.
Eastern Canada, the majority of milk is sold in a plastic bag. Usually you have 3 0.35 gallon bags of the good stuff inside one bigger bag. The bags have 3 0.35
3.35 gallons. Okay, gallons are quite big, so that's, what's that, like 750 mils or something?
Usually you have 3 0.35 gallon bags of the good stuff inside one bigger bag.
That's
The bags
so
are then
weird.
placed into milk bag holders and the corners snipped away.
It just seems like so much extra effort for something that already has a solution, you know? It's not like we're going, there's not really another way to do this. I wish someone would invent it. No, I honestly feel as though the bagged milk probably came out after the cartoned milk. Because for goodness sake, the entire world had glass bottle milk for years and years and years. Let alone the fact that you've got a bag in a bag in a bag, and so you're just going to be having so much more waste for kind of no reason. It doesn't make sense. And the fact that it comes in 3.5, okay, so 1.3 litre bag. So you've got that, wow, that's a lot of milk. You got 3.7 liters of milk in a single kind of purchase. That's a lot. I mean, I guess you can buy what? Can you buy 3 liters? Yeah, I know you can buy 2 liters, and I guess you can buy 3 liter milks, but to buy 3.7 liters of milk in a single go, I'd certainly hope that you're going to be drinking a lot of milk so it doesn't all just go to waste. And even that fact, like, how do you even keep it in the fridge, and how do you reseal the thing so it doesn't go off in a day? There's just, man, between just toes in cocktails and spirits and things like that, and then bagged milk, those are the weirdest things about Canada for sure. But no, I guess that is going to be it for this entire video. It was certainly filled with some things that I went, okay, that's fair enough. Like, you know, the entire kind of air at the end, I can understand that. That's just a cultural thing. And then you come over to here and it's just a historical thing. You got the UFOs, which is kind of just forward thinking in a way, kind of being inclusive in terms of all alien races. The lacrosse did start to kind of catch me off guard, and I feel as though that was the turning point in this video where I just went, hang on a second, what is going on here? But then the next one, it's just bathtub racing, and then you go to a toe, and then at the end you get bagged milk, which I have heard about now based on the last video, I believe. And yeah, there was just some stuff going on in Canada that doesn't make sense, and so it definitely makes me wonder what's going on in Australia that doesn't make sense, that I've never really noticed. But either way, it certainly doesn't take away from the fact that Canada and every country, I'm sure, has some weird things going on in it. But anyway, in saying that, I reckon I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, feel free to do the YouTube algorithmic things down below. Also, if this is the first video of mine that you're watching, then make sure to check out just any other ones I've done. I've done House Hippo now, I've done heaps of videos. Also, make sure to check out the original video down in the description below. Or hey, maybe even just want to consider subscribing so that you don't miss another one of these in the future. But all in all, have a good one and see ya.